Hello everybody, this is Dee from sCuteNCrafty, and thank you for coming back for another beautiful Dollar Tree DIY. If you're new to the channel, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. I would love to have you as part of the sCuteNCrafty family. And if you've been here before and you're already subscribed, you know what? I love you so much, and I think you are amazing. So, there are a ton of farmhouse home signs out there. I just can't stop making them. I love them so much. So let's get into this one and let me tell you what you're going to need. I am crafting from my stash today. So I have 4 pieces of cardboard and I have cut them like little pickets or rooftops, however you want to look at it. I've cut them with a point, and that's going to be our roof line. And I've cut them at various heights or lengths, various widths and sizes. And that is going to be important because you want your roof lines to stagger. You don't want them to be all the same height because you're not going to be able to get your roof line on there if they are all the same. They're going to run into each other. So stagger them. The little one is 3.5 inches wide. The medium one is 4.5 inches wide. This one's 4.5 inches wide. And then the tall skinny one is 4 inches wide. So cardboard that I just had laying around the house. We're going to use that. We're going to be using some of these Dollar Tree rub-on transfers, particularly the wreath in the middle. I love these, and every time I go to Dollar Tree and I see them, I snag a couple. We're going to be using the Dollar Tree vinyl letters. I'm going to use the H, the M, and the E. You can definitely use the O if you'd like, but again, I'm going to use this wreath. You can make the O with whatever you want to make it with, some greenery, whatever. It'll be fine. And then we're going to be using Jingle Blocks for our roof line. We are going to be using, most likely, not really sure yet, we'll see how it turns out, probably going to use some of this Farmhouse ribbon from Dollar Tree, which I think is absolutely gorgeous. We are going to be using some sandpaper because one of the Jingle Blocks we have to cut in half, so we're going to sand it down. We're going to be using a glue stick. And we are going to be using various pieces of craft paper or scrapbooking paper, I'm sorry. And this paper comes from everywhere. Some of it is Michael's, some of it is Joann Fabrics, and some of it is definitely, oh my goodness, I'm drawing a blank. What is the place? Hobby Lobby. Oh my gosh. It's been a long day. I've worked all day, so yeah. Anyway, I chose very neutral colors because I want the black vinyl letter to pop off of that. You could definitely take one piece and do all of your houses this way, but I really wanted to give it some interest and I didn't want it all to be the same, so I'm going to mix it up a little bit. So that's what you're going to need. I have a ruler, which is what I use to get my peaks on my houses. So we're done with this. I did those ahead of time just to save some time. So let's go ahead and get our houses together. So for the H, which is my long house, I really like this striped paper. So all I'm going to do is just trace it and cut it out. And what I like to do so that I don't have to cut as much is go ahead and line it up with the edges, the bottom edge and the side edge, so that I don't have to cut as much. Make fewer cuts. So we're just going to trace it. And once we get that traced, we're just going to go ahead and cut it out with our scissors. Nice and easy. It is not rocket science. Very little skill needed for this craft, but I tell you, it is going to be so stinking cute. I mean, if it comes out the way that I have it pictured in my head, it's going to be so cute. So we're just going to do the same thing with all of the rest of the cardboard. So I've got everything all cut out, and now I'm just going to glue them down just with my Dollar Tree glue stick. I'm going to make sure I hit the edges really well because I don't want it raising up. Just using my Dollar Tree scraper that they now sell in the Crafters Corner. I love this. It works perfect for this kind of thing. Really want those ends to stick really well. You don't want this raising up. I'm going to let this dry while I do the other ones, and then I'll go back and trim it up. But really, this is what you want on all of them. So here's all the houses with the paper on them. And the paper is just absolutely beautiful. I love it. I love the choices that I have. And I think that the neutral is really going to work well with the black vinyl letters. So now that this is done, we're going to set this to the side and we're going to pull out our Jenga blocks. We're going to need, or the tumbling tower blocks, we're going to need about 24 blocks. Yes, 24 blocks, one of which we are going to cut in half. So we're going to go ahead and get these painted. And I will be using I am going to use my Folk Art paint in the color Cottage. So here's the Jenga blocks all laid out. For the pieces that you're not going to see, the parts you're not going to see, I'm not going to paint. You are not going to see the backs of these Jenga blocks, and you're not going to see the ends on 2 of them. So I'm probably not going to paint all of that. We'll see how it goes. But we're just going to get these painted, and I'm just going to do 1 coat, and I am going to dry them because I am impatient. I can't wait for them to dry. It drives me nuts. So I'm just so excited whenever I'm doing a DIY to see the finished product. So I can't wait for things to dry. Comment down below if you're like that. If you're just like super excited to see the end result and you just can't wait for paint to dry. So you break out the heating tool or whatever that is. Or for me, I break out my blow dryer. That's what I dry my paint with. So you guys, I did end up painting all sides of the tumbling tower blocks, although, as I can see right now, and as you can see as well, I did miss 3 of them. So these 3 need to be painted on this side and on this side. So I'll be right back. Let's get it done. Okay. So now I am going to go back. I pulled out my jumbo craft sticks that I got from these are Walmart, not Dollar Tree, Walmart. And I'm going to go ahead and put craft sticks on the back of the cardboard houses because I don't want them to buckle. It seems like this one, after I put the glue on it, it seemed to be bowing in, and I don't want that. So we're going to shore it up with some craft sticks. And that was because I had to put so much glue on the paper to make it stick that the cardboard, of course, got wet and absorbed some of the moisture from the glue, and it tried to buckle the cardboard. So we're just going to make sure that that does not happen, because you want your houses to stand straight and tall. So we're just going to put some glue on there and put a craft stick behind it to give it a little more backbone, a little more strength. Now we're going to line our houses up, making sure that the ends, the edges are even, because now we're going to start to put our jingle blocks all along the edge, and we're not going to glue them flat. We're going to glue them standing. Just going them end to end. Just going to keep doing that all the way down. So you guys, I've got all my jingle blocks glued down, but when I got to the end, I had about a ½ inch maybe of house that did not have jingle block on it on the end, and I was not about to try to cut a tiny piece of jingle block to fit in there. So I just cut that piece of the house off, and it worked out perfectly. So now we're good with that. Now I want to take some of the craft sticks and glue them to the back to shore up the pieces in between where the houses meet. So we're just going to flip it over, and we're going to add some more of the craft sticks in all of the points where the house, each house joins. And I want to add them long ways instead of this way. I think this way is going to give me more stability. So we're just going to cut these down and glue them on. Now that we've got this all done and it's all shored up in the back, nice and strong, we're going to work on those roof lines. So I like to start at the top and just do them this way, right on the edge. And you're just following the edge of your cardboard to get your roof line the way you want it. You're going to put one here and one here, and that's going to be it for this one. And that's why I said you have to I'm going to peel this one off. It's not quite right. And don't worry about tearing that paper. We're going to cover it right back up. Nobody's ever going to know. Let's get that extra glue off of there. There we go. And we're just going to re-glue it. It wasn't sitting quite right, you guys. I mean, I'm not a perfectionist by any stretch, but that was going to bother me. Be careful if you have to go back and trim that down. These X-Acto knives are super sharp. Sorry, I was out of frame. Get back in frame, you guys. There. So we're going to glue our next one on. And that's how we're going to do it on all of the rooftops. Now we've got all of our rooftops glued on. You can see why it was important to stagger the rooftops so that they would all fit. And then here is where I cut my jingle block. I cut 1 in half to make it fit the small roof. And I just used my miter box saw to do that. So this part of the project is all done. Now we're going to use our vinyl letters to spell out the word home. For this part, I'm just eyeballing the spacing. I'm not going to try to measure anything. I'm just going to eyeball it, and I'm going to start by putting the O down first because it is the biggest part that I have to put down. So I want to make sure that I line everything up with the O. Now it'll be easier for me to just go ahead and line everything else up with this. And you can Mod Podge these vinyl letters on if you'd like. I'm not going to. This is going to be just a table decor piece. It's not going to be anywhere where it can, you know, be out in elements or anything like that. So I feel like it's going to be okay. Because I really don't want to put any more moisture on the cardboard if I don't have to. Okay, and because the H is so far down because it needs to line up with everything else, I just feel like this area up here, up top, is just a little bit lacking. It needs something. So, of course, I'm going to put a bow on it. So I'm just going to do a cute, small Olivia bow. And I'm going to grab some jute cord and tie it with that and do another bow on top with the jute cord. So you guys, that is it. This is the finished DIY. I absolutely love it. Oh my gosh. This came out so cute. Crafting from my stash. This is adorable. And I hope you guys like it as much as I do. If you do like this content and you'd like to see more from me, please give it a thumbs up and please consider subscribing. It really would help my channel grow and it helps me get noticed just a little bit more. So I thank you so very much for joining me for this quick and easy, beautiful Dollar Tree and a couple other places DIY. Until I see you and you see me, be beautiful, be blessed, be safe, craft something beautiful today. I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.